Good morning. It is officially fall here. It's rainy, it's blah. So I was going to continue on with my 30 days with one wig. I'm doing 2 right now, but I'm kind of feeling a little something different. So I'm going to wear something different. I've shared in a lot of older videos that I do have seasonal depression. So I do little things to try to stave off and kind of like strike at it before it hits me. Like, I know it will. I live in a place near Lake Erie, and then there's a man-made lake like literally right outside my boutique. So that does cause an additional level of like dreariness. It's very overcast most of winter. So I was feeling a little something cute, and so like the other wigs are cute, but I'm doing more in-depth things for you guys with those. So I have a very busy day, a lot of appointments, live sales. We're getting busier, you know, holiday time is here. So, you know, I just wanted to wear something a little different. So I am wearing the Bryony. I have a lot of videos on this, and she's in the color Caramel Swirl by René of Paris. Okay, so we're just gonna put her on, and I guess we'll chat about seasonal depression. Yay! I'm not making fun, I'm making light because I do suffer from it, and I kind of relish the days where I don't have the effects of it. So we're just gonna keep trying to do that. I'm gonna part this in the middle, and then we are going to spray it with the Tresseler dual leave-in conditioner and detangle it. I usually concentrate like right in here. This is where you get most of the friction damage, especially on a heat-friendly wig. Like, these fibers are great, but it's these underside ones that give you the trouble. I'm going to use a wide tooth comb. I have a bunch of these on my website with different... If I don't move my face out of the frame, it like won't, what's the word? Focus on the item I'm holding up. So yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit about seasonal depression. It might be like a weird video since I don't feel it right now, but I have been struggling for the last several days. So it's kind of a reprieve day, and just talk a little bit about, like, you know, I want to hear from you in the comments as well. Like, what do you do for seasonal depression if you have it? What area of the country do you live in? Because I think some people are like, seasonal depression, what's that? Like, if you live in Florida, not saying that there's not depression, you know, they don't have as much seasonal depression. Actually, one of my uncles was told to move to Florida to alleviate his depression symptoms, and it did kind of work. But, you know, you got to see your therapist. I used to be one. You got to see your therapist and talk all the things and get a plan in that's best for you. I'm just talking about my personal experience and some of the things I try to do during this time, which is really difficult now that I have a boutique and my schedule's just more demanding. When I worked my regular job before I worked nonprofit, there's pros and cons to nonprofit. A lot of times you don't make as much money as you could, especially for your level of education and expertise, but there's a lot of other benefits. As a single mom, I had a flexible schedule. Full-time was 35 hours a week. I could flex if I needed to. We shut down, but still got paid. You know, we still got our like holidays and all that. But we shut down right before Christmas until after the new year. It was like for 2 weeks. So I always was like, okay, go, go, go. And the thing is like, I would bank all of my like PTO if I could. And then I would also work over a couple weeks so that I was usually done about December 15th. And then I went back after the new year. I'm going to use this wig wax because I want to keep this back. Maybe I'll put a clip in or something, or just a bobby pin. But I'm going to concentrate it right here and try to get this back because I do like a tuck behind the ear situation. So what I'm probably going to do is I tuck a little bit, you see that? And then I'll probably stick a bobby pin in there to keep it back and out of my face. Ba, 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 ba. I don't know where that came from. So now that I don't have a situation where I can, you know, because I would like basically hold it together until I knew I had a significant time off. So all the little projects, additional self-care, I could do those basically for a month, you know what I mean, at the end of the year. Now being in retail, it's, you know, the end of the year is just a busy time in general. So there's no taking a month off. I actually do take off the last week in December because I'm just used to that. And by that time, I'll be honest with you, not only is my seasonal depression at its height, I also have like some situational things, like with my son being gone. I'll be honest, the holidays are actually quite hard for me. So by that time, I'm over it. I'm usually burnt out. And so I also really like to plan the next year ahead. So I already started basically the pre-planning. If you want me to go into how I plan the year, then let me know. But I've already picked my focus areas. I pick a theme, and that's kind of how I help guide and make decisions for my business and even my personal life. So yeah, I at least take 1 week to do that. Although, you know, online stuff doesn't really stop, but my boutique will be closed and, you know, I'll be just basically working from home more. I actually, because I have ADHD and also I was an only child, I really don't mind working from home, like at a pace that I want. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't feel like as much as work when I can get up and, you know, I can play my Switch. I'm a Switch player. I can play my Switch for a little bit, you know, get up and do this and do that and then come back to things. It doesn't feel as like worky when it's not this like, this has to be done by this time at this appointment, this live sale. I love doing all of that, but I do get burnout, so I need a reprieve sometimes, and that is the way that I get the reprieve. So why don't we make a list on a day that you're feeling good, like I'm feeling good today. If you have seasonal depression, if you know the holidays are coming up and those are hard for you, why don't you on a good day make a list of things that make you feel good, okay, and also things to avoid. So it's not just about focusing on things that would help you, but to me it's also things to avoid that I know, because if you have any type of depression, you know, once you're like full on in it, it's incredibly hard to like get yourself out of it because you have all the symptoms, the low energy, no desire, can't have a clear thought. Do you know what I mean? So then that's not the time where it's like, okay, I need to tackle my depression. It's taken me a long time, and it's also something that I often have to continue to remind myself that, you know, you need to work just as hard on your mental health when you're feeling good as when you're not. Because then you can set yourself up to basically have a cheat code. What's the cheat code to feeling better? What are your comfort things? What are the things to avoid? Who's your comfort persons? All of those type of things. So you can kind of set that up and make it so you don't really have to think through it. You just kind of go through your list. So I'm gonna make mine, you make yours, and let me know down in the chat, and everybody else, let's share kind of like what is our cheat code. It doesn't even have to be about depression, but we're talking about depression, seasonal, situational, whatever. Let's say, what is the cheat code you have or you create to help you kind of get a leg up when you're feeling down, okay? I hope this was helpful to you. Don't forget to subscribe. Sending you a virtual hug. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.